If you're here for GRE or GMAT training, there's a good chance that maybe some of your math skills have gotten rusty through college and working and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to rebuild the most important skills. Some of these you might remember from, back in fifth or sixth or seventh or eighth grade, and maybe they just got a little bit rusty. So we're going to go over them real quick here. Let's talk about combining like terms. Combining like terms is not a new weird algebraic concept. It's something that you're already familiar with. If you have, say, a cow and then you add another cow, you end up with two cows, or as we write in math, just two cow. We combine them, we put them together because a cow and the other cow are the same type of thing. Whereas if you have a cow plus a dog, you just have a cow and a dog. You don't combine these into a cow dog because that's not what happens. You just have a cow, you have a dog. The same thing is going to be true in math, whereas some things that are the same you can combine. So for example, let's say you have a plus a. We know that that's going to equal 2a, just like a cow plus a cow equals 2 cow. And some things you can't combine. Say a plus b. Well, those are two different things. That's like a cow and a dog. That's just a plus b is just a plus b. And so the basic idea of combining like terms is pretty simple. Let's talk about the more tricky cases. It turns out that those tricky cases aren't really that tricky. Two terms are like only if they have the same base and the same exponent. So let's say you have a squared plus a to the third. Yeah, they have the same base. They both have the base of a, but they have different exponents. So you can't combine these. They have to stay separate. They just stay as a squared plus a to the third. Now, if this stuff seems like too basic, don't worry. Many of our GMAT and GRE students started out here and got perfect or near perfect scores. Let's say you have something like a squared plus another a squared. Well, these are like terms. They have the same base, a, and they have the same exponent. So you can add them together and you can get 2a squared. Just like if you had a cow plus another cow, you'd have two cows. 1a squared plus another a squared gets you 2a squareds. Now, things can be a little tricky when you have more than one letter, and you have to just make sure that you have the same exponent on the same letter. So let's say I have a squared b plus ab squared. Just be careful with it. Here, this exponent's on the a. Here, the exponent's on the b. It's not in the same place, so these are not like terms, so you don't do anything with them. You just keep them separate as a squared b plus ab squared. On the other hand, if you have a squared b plus another a squared b, that would give you 2a squared b. Now we're going to talk real quick about coefficients. Coefficients are these numbers that come beforehand. So something like 3a, in this case, 3 is the coefficient, just to go over some vocabulary again. Let's say I have 3a squared plus a squared. Super easy. That's like if I have 3 cows plus another cow. What do you have? 4 cows, or in this case, you would have 4a squared. On the other hand, let's say I have 2a squared plus a. Here's where we need to be careful. They don't have the same base and exponent. This one has an exponent of 2. This one has no exponent at all, or you can say it has an exponent of 1 if you want to think of it that way. If they are not the exact same base and the exact same exponent, you cannot combine them. That's all it is. So here, you just leave this as 2a squared plus a. Suppose you have 3a plus 5b. What is that going to equal? Here, two different things, different bases. The a and the b are different. So you just get 3a plus 5b. If you have 3ab plus 5ab, well, now we have the same bases, same exponents, like no exponent at all, or you can say an exponent of 1. So you can add these up. That would be like if you had 3 cows plus 5 cows, you would have 8ab. Don't worry, we're going to make sure you practice this and are super comfortable with it. Combining like terms is one of the most just it's going to be in every single algebra problem all the time. So make sure that you just practice it a lot. Feel free to rewatch this video as many times as you need. Combine like terms along with a couple other things like multiplying monomials and factoring. If you master those, then everything else is just being clever with the problem solving and whatnot. Combining like terms though is definitely the most important of all the skills. It's the one where people make the most mistakes. And if you master this, it's going to get rid of a lot of those careless mistakes that you're seeing right now probably and really help you build the foundation for advanced problem solving.